One of the hardest questions I get asked as the Director of Interactive Media Studies is, what is interactive media studies? You would think it'd be an easy question to answer, but actually, it's a really hard question to answer. And the reason it's so hard to answer is because the question presupposes something about universities that's antithetical to what we do. That is, it presupposes interactive media studies as a discipline. You see, higher education is built on this German model that was developed in the 1800s that was about creating specialists, people who could effectively enter the Industrial Revolution era and be a specialist in something. They could go work on the proverbial Henry Ford assembly line. That's what higher education historically has been about. And then around the early 90s, late 80s, depending on where you want to count it, the internet revolution started to really take hold. And as that happened, the economy, the world in which we lived, started to take this 90-degree change. It shifted. And while specialization was still important, it was also important that we have a broad understanding of the world around us. That where previous students might graduate from a university and might need to know a very specific thing and then go work in a cubicle doing that thing, this new economy required something different. It required what IDEO calls the T person. What that means is you have a broad understanding of the whole picture, this holistic understanding of the world that's around you, and then you have some depth that creates some specialty, some deep part of your understanding where some part of that breadth you know deeper and stronger than you might otherwise know the other parts of it. That T-type person is not exactly the kind of person that traditional higher education is designed to help develop. Traditional higher education is about the vertical. Interactive media studies is about this cross-section, this collision between business, technology, and design. And all of these things provide a perspective that allows you to see the world in a different way. What goes into making a great video game requires that you understand code. It requires you understand design. It requires that you understand art. It requires that you understand psychology, or how you incentivize people to do things and level up and move through games. It requires that you understand narrative and storytelling, as great games do. It requires that you understand business models, where games are doing $1 billion worth of business on their opening day, right? All of those different disciplines in a traditional university live in lots of different places, in different silos. And any program that you take lives in only one of those silos. And the challenge is, in order to learn those other things, you've got to jump out of the silo and start taking a class in some other part of the university. And very likely, that class isn't going to be about what you came to study. So if you are studying, let's say, a digital game program that's in a department of computer science, that program is going to be fundamentally about code. And things like narrative and storytelling and the business of games and understanding the art and design of these things will require you at best to hop over the wall and go to some other part of the university where those courses may or may not have anything to do with games. It might simply be a figure drawing course or a general marketing course where you're learning to sell soap. Our program offers courses across the entire university that are specifically about this integrated approach to design, business, and technology. That's our unique perspective. Interactive Media Studies at Miami lives across the entire institution. Make no mistake about it, the economy is changing radically. And while change is the only constant, really, when you think about it, the world is changing at a pace that is so rapid, higher education has been struggling to keep up with it. In the face of all of this change, Interactive Media Studies represents the future of higher education. It's about creating opportunity, it's about creating experience, and most importantly, creating an understanding of where technology, business, and design come together to allow our students to see the world with a new set of lenses, from a new perspective, to see things that other people can't see and haven't seen yet, to understand how things work and fit together, to understand social and political and business pressures as they all move and shape what happens to us on a day-to-day basis. What we've built here at Miami University is unique. There is nothing like it anywhere else. An interdisciplinary T-shaped experience for our students so that they can understand both the breadth and complexity of the new world that they face, will have depth in something that allows them to become a specialist with some sense of deep knowledge in a specific area. It represents what we can potentially offer in higher education to make the world a better place. We're excited to offer it here at Miami University, and we look forward to sharing it with you.